Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Tuesday, November 21st. We have a banger of a show today. We have Ray Chan from 9GAG fame, Memeland. 9GAG, you know the names. Ray Chan, absolute badass CEO of 9GAG, is going to be joining us in just 23 minutes to talk all things meme coin and SocialFi. Big guest, big show, big day. Other than that, we're also going to discuss the very eventful Blur airdrop. We're going to discuss the SEC just randomly throwing out some more allegations, just trying to get something to stick here. So we'll have to dig into all of it. Clemente, how you doing there, young boy?
I'm fired up. I'm excited, even though it's nice and early over here. It's still dark out, but I've been trying to get Ray on the show for the last 3 months. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one. And I also tweeted out the last time Ray was on here, he hit Nick with a little bit of a fact check on On-Chain Monkey. So I'm expecting it to be a fireworks show today.
That was super funny. Nick?
They say it's always, Clemente, always the hardest to get on guests that you had on before. You know, that's one of the most difficult things. I think of, Joe Rogan and his struggles to like become one of the biggest podcasters. And they say he just interviewed the same 10 people over and over and over again and became one of the biggest podcasters in the world.
The hardest part for Joe Rogan was getting the people on that he already had on before, right, Nick?
That is incredibly difficult. But Clemente, doing great work, God's work over there. I can't wait. In all seriousness, though, I mean, Memeland has had a big sequence of milestones since we spoke to him last time. And so he actually, and Annie's pinning random comments about me, knowing that it's going to throw me. We're doing
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just listening,
YouTubers, can you post a comment about Clemente and just like keep posting random things about him throughout the show? I'll make sure to pin those right when he starts speaking. Okay.
Commenters, please pin whatever you think the most interesting comment is about Clemente on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, forgive us. Nick was thrown off because someone asked, why did he dress up today? When in reality, he dressed actually pretty much identical to how he dresses every single day. But very excited to have Ray Chan and the Memeland squad joining in the audience for today's show. Speaking of Memeland, Easy, how's it going on your weight loss journey?
Oh man, we're living. We're working well. We're doing better. Yeah, can't complain. We're ready for Basel.
Nick, are you confused at that transition?
I'm confused about his microphone coming in right now at like a different quality.
Is that better?
I mean, it sounds good. I just thought like, holy shit, we're in the studio.
Like this?
We're in the studio. How many more pounds do we have to go in the next 3 weeks? You got Thanksgiving. That's going to be a hurdle.
I know, dude. I got to work on that. I also have to watch my tone because my neighbor filed a noise complaint yesterday for me yelling on my 5 p.m. show.
I forgot about that. Yeah, so
I got to be very careful. I have to move my whole office around now. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Or maybe you could just not yell at the top of your lungs. Like that's
dude, that's so much less fun. Like that's so much less fun.
I don't view that as a solution. I view him moving into the Copacabana that we're gonna move into in Miami next year as the only solution.
But I want to have an extra 2 bedrooms though,
That's
like
true.
so that we can use for an office and stuff.
He takes up a lot of space, so yeah, we don't need him in there.
It's going to be difficult. No, in all seriousness, I had that happen once. So someone said NYC sucks. Quick note: Easy lives in Miami. So that's where he lives, and that's where
I know the issue is my desk is against a wall that borders another unit, so I'm yelling into the wall. I just ordered soundproofing things for that wall, but I'm also like, I'm probably just gonna flip the whole office so I'm facing that wall. It will look the exact same.
Your whole sound right now, Easy, is way different than it always is. You are holding
rattled.
back.
I'm rattled.
It's pretty funny. That hasn't happened to me since I moved back to New York. No one has complained about me yelling, and that's even after when the Bitcoin ETF almost got approved. The space that I did there, which I think was just full tilt, just screaming. Nick,
I haven't been complained about either. But that's also because my apartments have been ginormous ever since I moved back. Over the past couple of years, they've been oversized. So. That's been something that I've appreciated, resulting in me not bordering any neighbors, just taking over entire floors.
Well, that's what it's all about, Nick, and that's what everybody's able to do. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be joined in 19 minutes by Ray Chan from 9GAG. We are going to just dig into the discussion before he comes. Real quick, we are doing another giveaway today, thanks to our partners over at Phantom Wallet. You've heard us talk about Phantom Wallet before. Yesterday, you probably heard that they announced the launch of their cross-chain swapper, which allows you to swap, bridge, and swap tokens between. Clemente, I'm on the same page as Nick on this one. You said the word swap too many times in this, but it's okay. Between Solana, Ethereum, and Polygon, all within the Phantom Wallet. So I actually want to point this out. This is awesome because Phantom already had support for ETH, Sol, and Matic. So you can just do all the swaps right in there. So for example, the other day when I bought a Mad Lad, I had to use a bridge to swap Ethereum to Solana to be able to buy that Mad Lad because I didn't want to spend any Solana. You know, like the Solana, come on now, I'm not going to spend the Solana. I had to spend the ETH on those. But if it happened today, now that this product is out, I could have just done it all in Phantom Wallet. So obviously it's a massive step, empowering the next wave of cross-chain interactions. Couldn't be more excited about this. We're going to do some fun activations with Phantom for the rest of the year here. But today we're giving away 3 more sets of BoDoggos merch packs. Okay, so these include a Breakpoint hat and shirt, as Bunny's son was sporting yesterday on Twitter. So, Bunny, your son likes the Breakpoint merch?
Yeah, he's a big fan. He was wearing the hat, the T-shirt. The T-shirt's a little big for him. It might be a little big for me. I might have told you the wrong size. Might have to send me a couple more.
We'll see about that, Bunny. But anyway, to enter this giveaway, all you have to do is share a screenshot of your favorite NFT on the Phantom app and like the pinned tweet. We'll pick the winners in the next 24 hours. So we see people already doing it here. People are just screenshotting pretty much a bunch of BoDoggos in their Phantom application, which is awesome. And then they post them in response to the tweet. If you haven't downloaded the Phantom wallet, then I really don't know what you're doing. Go to phantom.app. Import your ETH wallet and try the bridge, try the swapper. When you do it, take a screenshot and share it in the comments, and you can enter to win some free merch. Who wants to do the weather report today? Nick, do you want to do it or do you want someone else to do it? It's totally cool either way.
I can do it, Pio. Let me just pull up the doc was not loaded, but I got it right here, and we're loaded. Just wanted to add some dead air there while we wait. You ready, Pio?
I'm ready. I'm ready, buddy.
It's the weather report. Market volume. This is on the NFT side. So what the hell? Yeah. Yes, last time we discussed how much Solana NFT volume there is, and then today you just pull it out.
You said you didn't like it. You said
okay.
It's 2.4 million
and up 30%. Solana is 2.4 million. A little over 10% of the, I'd call it closer to 30% of the ETH volume. Blur 7.6 million, OpenSea 3.5 million. Blur had a big drop there. NFT market leaders, all leaders are in the red today. Okay, with Mutants down 5% to 5 ETH, Bored Apes down 3%, and everything else holding steady. The primary driver of that potentially, Blur's airdrop. Other movers include Opepins down 10%, Parallel Avatars down 12%, and Yoga Pets up 80% to 0.47 ETH. Is this like a derivative of Friend Pets? What the hell is Yoga Pets?
It's from the Kung's ecosystem with Cubs and some of the others. It's not quite Captains, but from the underbelly of Captains, I would say.
I don't even know what that means. Over the past 24 hours, the SEC has accused the crypto exchange Kraken for operating an unregistered platform and improperly mixing customer funds. I saw someone else say that. I didn't see that in there, claiming that Kraken commingled up to $33 billion in customer funds with its own corporate assets. Their CEO, Dave Ripley, responded that these claims are factually incorrect, that the path to registering as an exchange is not clear, and that Kraken will defend the crypto industry's right to exist in the U.S. I appreciate Dave Ripley. Stan. The United States is also seeking more than $4 billion from Binance to end its ongoing criminal case against them. Reports also state that this resolution includes its founder, CZ, also facing criminal charges. Well, I guess CZ, like if CZ wants to fly to the US again, then
it costs $4 billion.
Basically. Looking over at crypto, most alts are in the red, led by Solana down 6%, Doge down 5%, Polygon down 6%. Meanwhile, Bitcoin and ETH are both holding steady in the last 24 hours because the SEC no longer views them as securities based on a single document. So we'll see. I guess this spells the end of Solana. It was a good run while it lasted. Now it's over. Lastly, Blur's Season 2 airdrop went live, and it wasn't without a twist. Pac-Man announced the launch of Blast, an L2 that he thinks can address two huge opportunities for NFTs. One, reducing transaction costs, and two, institutional-grade NFT perps. Users can now farm points on Blast by what many are calling Ponzi-like mechanics. NFT people love that, including invite codes, no withdrawals, and point accumulations. This seems to have been a success so far, with Blur token turning things around despite people dumping some of their airdrop. It's back up 8% despite the huge unlock. Dude, Blur just making one thing. How big can this get? Like, first they're like, okay, guys, we're going to need a big announcement on this airdrop. We pushed it a little bit. We're launching an L2. When is the L2 actually functional? It sounds like next year.
Testnet, I believe, is February or January, and then full go live in May.
Well, that's fascinating. They just cranked out like a L2 real quick.
The speculation is that they've been working on it, and that's why Season 2 kept getting extended. We have a dead set date for Season 3, which is May 2024.
Well, there are some lessons learned from observing them, but we can discuss that later. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is, dude, the anticipation, the announcements, everything else is just such like it's proper execution here. And NFT people love this type of play. They did a great job. Congratulations to Blur. They somehow continued to make this whole token thing continue to go. And they're building out one thing after the next. The L2 thing is pretty interesting. I was actually thinking about that. But Pio wants to go through the newsletter. Look, Pio, don't worry, man. I got it. The Daily Digest. It's
no. I thought you were going to finish on your weather report.
This is on the Nifty.com, Pio. No. You can sign up there every day. You guys are already familiar. Pio, don't worry, man. I just got it from here, man. It's all good.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got the Daily Digest. It's posted to X platform every morning. Also available at the Nifty.com. First story, Nike posted the artifact shoes on Instagram. All right, Nick, come on. Nike posted the artifact shoes on Instagram for a second time in the last week, reaching their audience of 300 million total followers. What a surprise. People like the really cool shoes that Artifact makes. Not surprised there. Web3 game, big time, sold out 6,000 boxes for $350 each in less than 5 minutes, making $2.1 million. That's pretty crazy. Yuga Labs has requested Oh, Nick, I don't know if you saw this, dude. Yuga Labs has requested 7.8 million buckaroos in attorney fees from the court case against Ryder Rips and Polly, with the defendants claiming that only 450 grand is reasonable. Even if they meet in the middle there, that's going to be a pretty penny. Next story, crypto exchange Bullish has officially acquired CoinDesk from DCG in an all-cash deal. I don't know if there's clarity surrounding just how much cash was in that deal, but it'll be fascinating, especially for us, to understand how much was in there. Opepin Set 28 debuted yesterday after 3 weeks of no new drops. The set is holding a 0.8 ETH floor, which is a 2x premium to the unrevealed Opepins. Next story, Friendtech received backlash after announcing this week's airdrop points will be based off of how many voted users receive the how many votes people receive for their posts. A freshly funded wallet with 276 Ethereum swept, 2 Fidenzas, 8 anti-cyclones, 10 Life in West America pieces. So somebody came through and wanted some high quality art, and they got it. Flooring Protocol, their wallet total value reached an all-time high of, get this, over 14,000 Ethereum. So Flooring Protocol just moving and grooving. Last one, Snoop Dogg has announced he did not actually stop smoking weed. Instead, it's an ad campaign for a gasless stove. So would you look at that? Snoop is still going to smoke. What a brilliant little campaign that he did, saying that he was done with smoke. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, those are your stories from the Nifty Daily Digest. Subscribe at thenifty.com or tune in on X platform for the post every single day. We have Ray Chan from Memeland joining us in 8 minutes. About to be a great time talking about 9GAG and the Memeland ecosystem with the CEO himself. A lot of action there. First, I want to talk about Blur's Season 2 reactions. Easy, can you break down Blur's Season 2 airdrop details and the announcement of their new Layer 2 called Blast?
Yeah, so it seems like a lot of people were not happy. Some were happy, some weren't happy. I mean, I had 0 points and got 2,000 Blur, so like $500 for literally just listing, which was great. Machi responded, fuck Pac-Man, fuck Blur. He was not happy. I think he lost about $12 million, I think is what it was. Spent 14, only got 2.
Wow.
Yeah, Hanwei was the number 1 farmer. He got 8 million. So it seemed like there was a large price discrepancy in the number 1 and number 2 spots. So clearly that was an issue. On top of this, the Season 3 is really interesting because now they have stake to earn. So if you just hold Blur, it gives you a ton of points. I'm at 500,000 points already. I bought an ETH of Blur at 0.26, so I'm already up on that. Immediately staked it and left my entire allocation in the pool as well. I'm like, all right, Season 3 seems like it's going to be way more profitable because they're dropping the L2 token is what many people speculate instead of Blur rewards. So you're getting, quote, redacted. And then on top of that, you can send the ETH to the Blast chain and get some level of reward. It seems like a Blast token is what's going to happen, the L2 gas fee token that they're going to have to use. And that's where I'm like, okay, this seems more interesting. They've also since nerfed bid points. They've nerfed listing points. They nerfed a bunch of stuff. So it's like an even playing field now. Trait-based listing is no longer as profitable. Bidding on specific traits no longer as profitable. It seems Blend will still be the most profitable, where you can actually send out loans and provide liquidity that way. But all in all, I think this is going to be a way better opportunity than the last 2 seasons. So I'm going to try to farm it, but in the most effortless way possible, just staking Blur. And I think because Blur rewards are not part of Season 3, we're actually going to see more buy pressure on Blur, where the token price is already up like 10% today. So I think that's actually going to continue as more people buy Blur to stake it and earn more points, or more people are going to be going hard for the Blast where they're sending ETH to the L2.
Real quick, Easy. So it seems as though Machi Big Brother was disappointed, and people are speculating that he lost over $10 million. I don't know exactly how they're calculating that. I guess looking at just how much capital he lost from farming Blur versus what he received in terms of the token, seems that Hanwei received $7 million+ in Blur token. Did Hanwei actually make money, or did he also lose?
Yeah, he made money. No, he made money. So he even said like he only spent like 60 or 70 grand or something like that on Blend, and he went really hard on Blend, which everyone thought he lost a ton of money because Blend shows incorrect profit loss on Blur when you actually are doing like
gotta
the
love
lending.
it.
Yeah,
gotta love it.
The math is not mathing, but
Sorry,
no, he made.
What's Blend?
It's the lending
Are you
protocol.
serious, Nick?
When you can
I
take
don't
out a loan, buy now, pay later, take out a loan on the NFTs.
You at one point knew what Blend was. You just totally forgot, Nick.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pio. What the hell? Yeah, I don't remember what it is because I don't do that stupid bullshit. Okay, like it's a bunch of nonsense, anyways. But like these big brains are basically outmaneuvering us and just farming shit. Turns out that Machi just blindly aping into random shit was not an effective strategy, which is less surprising. But I think the whole thing with so no, I didn't know what Blend is, Pio. You've been spending a lot of time on there trading on Blend.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, I'd call me a blender. I'm making smoothies on that shit, putting the ice cubes in there, putting in chia seeds. We're making some good stuff on Blend. Clemente?
Yeah, so easy. Just to clarify, you are just staking or just holding your Blur tokens. You put 1 ETH in and that's it. Like you're not participating in the actual like sending money to Blast, right? And like trying
Dude,
to
I can't
build
even get it to
armies
connect
and
to
all.
Blast. That's the issue. I can't even get it to connect right now. So I'm like, this is so frustrating. I want it to connect, but it won't do anything. So if it connected, I'd be happy to participate, but I can't right now. I want to get larger blur bags, to be honest. I probably want to get up to like 3 or 4 ETH and just farm and just sit and let it work. Because you stake it, it's wicked easy to do. And I don't see why you wouldn't. Like to me, it's like you're earned. I think I'm literally looking right now. I have over 500,000 points. Like that's the main thing for me. I'm like, give me the free money. Season 2 was decent. People were happy about it, but I think season 3 is going to be way more profitable.
Got it.
Well,
And the only other thing is, yeah, that Blast piece isn't like I see people building armies and sending ETH. You see the invite codes. And then there's these cards that you reveal to like multiply your points on. Like Blast is, it's like
It's the ultimate Ponzi.
Ponzi-nomics.
There's so many Ponzi's involved, dude. It's like the definition of an Egyptian pyramid. Like the thing is beautiful.
I saw NFT Stats tweet this, but he was like, worst Pac-Man Blur is the #1 like Ponzi-nomics guy. Like he's the best at doing this kind of stuff. And I think he demonstrated that yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see where it goes. I've been saying that I want Pac-Man to be like, our Mark Zuckerberg, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I saw this interview with Sam Altman from OpenAI. Obviously, Sam's name has been in the news over the past week for different reasons. But in that interview, Sam Altman said that the average age of like entrepreneurs building unicorn startups or whatever, basically the average age of entrepreneurs is actually going up, which is kind of a problem. And when I think about, back in the day when Nick was, rising to prominence in the social media game, all of the CEOs of those companies, Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Dorsey, and the names go on and on. They were all like in their early 20s at that time. That was almost like the norm at that time for a 24-year-old Mark Zuckerberg to be running this multi-billion-dollar publicly traded corporation. Whereas now you're just not seeing it as much. So I love seeing one of these young guys, Pac-Man, just going really hard to build an empire and do it while he's young. Real quick, we got Ray Chan, ladies and gentlemen, from 9GAG from Memeland joining us in just a couple of minutes. Before we are joined by Ray, I just want to cover this SEC versus Kraken, this random Hail Mary from the SEC against Kraken. They have accused the exchange Kraken for operating an unregistered platform and improperly mixing customer funds, claiming that Kraken commingled up to $33 billion in customer crypto with its own corporate assets. So basically accusing Kraken of the FTX playbook. Nick?
Well, that wasn't the main charge here. The main charge was that they were running an unregistered securities exchange, unlicensed. I'm interested in reading the commingled thing. Like, how did they come to that conclusion? Like, where did they get that information from?
Yeah, it's so random.
Like, that's quite a strong claim. Like, they're basically saying not only that, but you guys are FTX. Like,
literally,
the position there. That's just like a aggressive claim to throw out, and I don't know how. Like, that like tarnishes the brand of Kraken in the process of what was otherwise a similar lawsuit to what they did with Coinbase. It's basically the exact same thing. I saw Rom had tweeted out, he was like, so they're batting 0-3 right now, the SEC, and it keeps getting thrown out, and they keep losing every single case. What the hell is going on over there, dude? Like, it's the whole thing is crazy.
I think. Well, what I was going to say, I think what's going on is Gary Gensler's SEC is not a well-oiled machine. And I'm not even like just a biased crypto guy. It just isn't. He was getting roasted in DC by, government officials. He's getting roasted from the crypto audience. He's losing case after case. I don't think you can say that he's running a, wonderfully tight ship over there. I don't think you can. Here's a little TLDR here with a screenshot from Tom Mitchell Hill, the crypto journo. So I guess he's a journalist talking about these claims. Nick?
Add journo to the end of your username and you're a journalist, apparently. But I would be interested in seeing, no one linked to the full document. I would like to take a look at that. I don't even know if we have that linked in the show notes. No, it looks like we didn't. Thanks, Clemente. And yeah, the commingling thing to me is crazy. Like that one is pretty bonkers. Next thing you know, they're going to be saying that they bought mansions for their parents, like using the money. Dude, shout out to SBF's dad, by the way. He deserves just an all-time shout out here, man. That guy made out like a bandit with
no
this,
jail time.
with this whole thing. Dude, no jail. There's no claims against him. Has tens of millions of dollars that he was able to pull out of FTX, houses that exist down there. I think FTX is trying to take those back though in the bankruptcy proceedings is my assumption. But dude, what a dad. You know, what Chad dad moves over here. Let your son go to jail, take the fall, keep some of the money. It's worth it.
That's a Chad dad move. Well, look, we're going to wrap on this in just a second because we have Ray in the audience on Twitter waiting for him to connect on video for YouTube, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. But real quick, I mean, I got to think that Kraken's going to beat this case, or at least I hope so. Easy, have you paid attention to this at all?
A little bit, to be honest. Not a ton. I mean, dude, Kraken lost a lawsuit previously where they settled for, what, $30 million? So this isn't their first rodeo. Like, I'm sure they'll settle again, personally. Like, that'd be the least surprising thing. We'll see. We'll see.
We will have to see for sure. I mean, it is a bold claim, like Nick pointed out, to say that Kraken was commingling $33 billion in customer crypto with its own corporate assets. How would you even know that? Like Nick pointed out, do you have access to the books? I don't know. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, stick around for a few minutes. We're just getting Ray connected to the video feed, and then we will be ready to rock and roll with him to talk all things 9GAG, Memeland, captains, and just about everything in between. One more reminder, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to our partners over at Phantom. We're doing another giveaway today. So this is Phantom Wallet we're talking about. And as you may have heard, they just launched their cross-chain swapper. It allows you to bridge and swap tokens between Solana, Ethereum, and Polygon, all within the Phantom Wallet. It's a massive step forward in powering the next wave of cross-chain interactions. So we're actually giving away 3 more sets of BoDoggos merch packs. That includes a Breakpoint hat and shirt. You saw Bunny's son repping it. To enter, all that you need to do is share a screenshot of your favorite NFT on the that you have in your Phantom Wallet and reply to the pinned tweet with that screenshot. We're going to pick winners in 24 hours. If you haven't already downloaded the Phantom app, then import your ETH wallet and try the bridge today. When you do it, take a screenshot for a chance to win the merch. But without any further ado, we have the CEO of 9GAG, CEO of Memeland, the guy that just kind of gets it, Ray Chan. Welcome back to the show, Ray. You're muted, Ray.
Yeah, hi guys. Good to be back.
Excited to have you here.
Hell yeah.
Look at my title. The guy that proves Nick wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ray is giving a nod to the last time he was on the show when Nick, I think, went off on a random tangent commenting on On-Chain Monkey and Danny, the CEO of On-Chain Monkey. And Ray was just kind of like, yeah, Danny really knows what he's talking about. He's an OG crypto developer and an advisor to Memeland. So that was pretty funny to happen on the spot. Ray, to kind of recap the last 8 months since your last appearance, it's been quite the roller coaster for you and the whole team over there. You all reached an all-time high on captains of nearly 10 Ethereum during NFT NYC. Then from a price action perspective, there was a bit of a crash after the initial PFP rollout. It went down about 50% in the span of a month, also due to the Azuki Elementals drop, taking some liquidity away from the market. Then you guys dropped Memecoin, which has been seen unanimously as a huge success. Look, NFT people and crypto people are no strangers to roller coaster rides. What's it been like over the past 8 months?
I think 50% drop is not really roller coaster ride, right? It's like normal road. It's just like an NFT highway. Yeah, but I mean, jokes aside, I feel like this is like, I mean, it doesn't feel like 8 months. Right? It feels like decades. Yeah, I think that's what I can say. I'm very grateful that we have I would say we launch what we promise, right? And then we launch a token. Right now, I would say the token is performing okay, right? So I think our community is happy, and I think it turns a new page for Memeland, right? For Memecoin, I think we are geared up for what's next. Yeah.
Awesome to hear. Nick, go ahead.
No, I mean, congratulations. You're right now. It turns out your whatever plan you've put together here, you've mastered the sort of meme side of things. We were having a conversation last time. It was clear that you understood sort of the NFT culture and have executed on that properly. I'm curious, like one of the biggest things, a lot of the structure of the new thing is kind of random unlocks, right? Like it's not on a clearly defined time frame. It's really whenever you get the vibe that now's a good time to unlock. Can you say right now, when are you going to get that vibe?
I think that vibe is I mean, what Nick is mentioning is about our tokenomics design, right? How or when we will unlock the token in the NFT. I think there are a few new, I would say, micro innovations that we did with Memecoin. Right? Number one, we launched it as a meme coin, right? And I think that's great on the marketing side, also on the legal side. I'm not saying that every token project should launch it as a meme coin, but I'm saying that it makes a lot of sense for Memeland, right? And for 9GAG, right, our heritage, right, to launch a token called meme coin. Right? I think the token of Memeland should be called meme coin. I think it wouldn't make sense, right, if we call it like land coin or call it land, right? So I think meme is the only name that we can think of, right? And then on the tokenomics design, first of all, I think we want to really reward our believers, right? Our loyal community who have been with us or supporting us for a long time, right? That's why when we do the token launch, right, basically we reward all the holders who stick STAKED, right? We stick the NFT with us, who earn some maps and valuables, right? I think that's how we think about it, right? We always mention that, okay, we reward loyalty, patience, and trust, right? In Memeland, that's something that we did first. And then right now, okay, when we kind of like clear all the debt that we have, right, with our holders, then we can kind of like restart Memeland in a new way. We are going forward a few directions. Number one, we're trying to simplify the ecosystem so that any new joiners who join the NFT, who try to buy Memeland NFTs, right, they don't have to check out maps and stuff like that, right? Right now, everyone start at the same page, right? And of course, we will be, I would say, let me put it this way, improving the art, right? I think that's one of the weakness that we see in our NFT collections, right? And then for the token side, what we try to do is, I think for most people, when they see an NFT company or NFT project, right, when they see that, oh, it launches a token, they always assume that their token doesn't work because there's no success example, right? Maybe ApeCoin, right? But Bored Ape, Yuga Labs, I think they are kind of like different, right, from most of the other projects out there, right? For us, we kind of like prove it wrong. And we, instead of the common, I would say, advice, which is, okay, you should separate the NFT and the token will crash your NFT, right? We literally do it the opposite way. We literally put tokens into the NFT because we believe that the best way to keep the NFT of value is actually to educate more people about why this is interesting, right? We want to bring more attention to our NFT. And with the token, with the bigger crypto market, I think that's a good way to do. That's why we have about right now is about 20% of our token is actually locked inside our NFTs, right? Including MVP, captains, and also potatoes. Yeah, and for us, we see that as kind of like part of the ecosystem fund. But instead of, okay, we just make an empty promise, right? We literally put it inside the NFT that our holders are already holding. So they don't have to worry too much, whether they would change their plan and stuff like that. Because by smart contract, it's literally inside the NFT. Yeah, I think that's something that we want to do. And to be honest, when we will unlock it, I think the best case is when there's like some catalyst or we are launching some new products, right? That makes a lot of sense for us to increase the circulating supply. Then we will unlock it so that we can, on one hand, make use of it to encourage our holders to participate in the products that we are launching. On the other hand, it also gives the market, right? I would say, ease out the fluctuation of the price. Yeah, I think that's how we think about it. Yeah.
One other thing I was going to say is that the dynamics that you've set up here, because I think it was for 2 years, it gives you one of the most challenging things running an NFT project is basically people are always like, well, what's next? What's coming next? And that cycle is one of the most annoying parts of running an NFT project is like, hey, can the devs do something sort of thing? Like that whole narrative, I feel like you've bought yourself some time to a degree to enable you to actually maybe focus on the product side, because you did say all along that I think Memeland is effectively, well, you broke down the thesis. It's pinned, I think. I don't know if it's still pinned to the top of that account. I really appreciated that one and have used it as a reference because you outlined here is what Memeland is. And part of that was a product studio. And so, like, do you feel that this sort of approach is was architected around that so that you could actually have more time to breathe without having this urgency of dropping one product after the next? Yeah.
I would say that it's not just about buying time, right? It's more about understanding our holders, understanding our user. Right? I think most of the NFT founders, right, they actually don't really talk to their holders, right? They don't really buy that many NFTs. They don't feel the pain, right? That's why when they design tokenomics or marketing strategy or I don't know, whatever strategy, right? I think they forget that what the team thinks is very different from what the holders think. Right? So for us, we try to kind of like align the team and also our holders together. Right? People talk about AI these days, especially with all the drama going at OpenAI. But I believe that there's another AI which is also very important, right, for Web3, which is aligned interest, right, aligned incentive, right. I think that's something that why Web3 is interesting comparing to Web2 product, right? Because basically our holders, right, our community, our participants, they have the same interest as the team, right? We want to grow the ecosystem together. I think for us, it's about how to put that into action, right? And to be honest, you can't just have a vision, right? You can't just have a mission. You actually have to have some, I would say, execution to link that up together. I feel like putting the token inside the NFT with, I would say, around 2 years unlock. I think 2 years, I mean, to be honest, right? If we can make it, right, we will make it. If 2 years we still can't make it, right? Probably we are dead anyway, right? So I feel like 2 years is good enough for us to launch something that works. Yeah.
Well, Pio, was there something you want? Because I can keep.
No, look, when Nick wants to keep going, I just let Nick keep going, and then I'm ready to jump at any point. Nick, keep cooking, baby.
Well, okay. Which NFT project are you holding that I should call out this time? Actually,
I didn't mean like that.
I'm just curious. I'm wondering, like, is there any? What's your most Degen trade in the past 6 months?
Me personally, yeah. I don't trade. I just buy. Okay. Yeah, I just buy. Right. That's why I'm down bad. Right. I buy NFT not to make money. Right. I buy NFT to learn. Right. I want to learn why that project is interesting. Right? Because you have to put some money in it. You have to have your skin in the game, right? To understand how it works, right? You can't just understand how Memeland works, right? By reading what Nick said, right? Or hearing what Nick said, right? It doesn't work. You actually have to buy it, go to the Discord, and then talk to the holders, right? So that's how you can understand what how a project works, right? For example, recently, one of the NFT that I bought was Misfit, the Pluto, right? From Polygon. Right? I mean, it's one of their flagship projects on one hand. On the other hand, I also want to understand how troublesome it is, right, to actually buy Polygon NFT. Right? So that's why I pick one and I buy one that I like. Right? It's like with the matrix like background and stuff. Right? It's a rare one, right? Because for me, I buy NFT that I like. And also I buy NFT to support my friends. I also buy NFT to learn. Right? To me, I feel like that's why I don't really need to trade to make money. And to be honest, I'm a very shitty trader. Yeah, that's why I don't think it makes sense for me to trade. This is more like an insider jokes or like a public secret within Memeland communities. Whenever Ray buys a project, right, you should sell. Right? I mean, like the Rayoki, right? I think that's what they call me. Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Do not buy any of our NFTs, Ray. That would be that would be.
In order to make you sad, right? I would just buy one, right? After this show. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Look, Ray, I was wondering, you mentioned the art upgrades. And so this is a very interesting concept to me because I feel like during the peak bull run, and you look at a project, I think probably the prime project example for a PFP project would be Azuki when you think about the art. Like, people love the Azuki art. I think that Azuki rose to the status that it has because of the art. People just absolutely love it. It was the first really, really notable anime project that kind of stuck around. Obviously, Oni Forest came before it. There were some others that came before it, but you know, I'm almost saying Steve Aoki. Azuki was the most notable and still is really the most notable anime project. How much stock do you put into the art of a profile picture project? Because obviously it's not the heaviest lift in the world to improve the art, but at the same time, it's not the least heavy lift in the world. You do have to put a lot of work into it. Do you actually see you know, the trade-off of the amount of work that you put into an art upgrade worth it? Because at the end of the day, you know, most people do treat NFTs like speculative assets. You know, if everybody could just upgrade the art and it would make the price go up, I feel like they would do it. And obviously there's no black and white answer, but I'd love to hear the way you think through that.
I think to be honest, right, I think we were wrong, or to be more accurate, I was wrong. I always feel like for NFT, it's more about the so-called utility, right? It's more about, okay, the community, right? But actually, the artwork and also the story behind the whole collection, it actually affects all aspects of a project, all aspects of our community. And for example, when I talk to like Azuki holders, I mean, Memeland is a Azuki holder, right? That's why we went to Azuki parties, right? Not to meet girls and stuff, but more about to see the vibe, right? I think Azuki has done a lot of right things, and that's why they have a pretty strong community. Right? Of course, it has to be right time, white people, right, and also the white work and stuff like that, right? I feel like for us on the artwork side, on one hand, we didn't have the most correct thoughts. On the other hand, I think we are too advanced when we're trying to push the smart PFP concept, right? That we have. Oh, basically, you can change your clothes, kind of like a Barbie and stuff. I still think that makes sense, right? But I feel like it depends on the timing of launch, right? For example, if you already have a collection that people already like, and then when the macro market is better, right, or the bigger NFT market is better, then whenever you have a new collab, then you introduce a new clothes or new trade, right, for your NFT. It probably works, right? Because people are happy, more people are buying in, right? But when you launch this during the so-called bear market of NFT, then people just don't give a fuck, right? And because to be honest, they focus a lot on the PvP. They feel like, okay, if I kind of have to dump it right now before the next dump, right? So I feel like it's about the timing, right? But meanwhile, I also think that artwork, as you mentioned, is kind of like a low-hanging fruit that we can make people happy. Right? I'm not saying that making good art is easy, right? Making good NFT art is actually very, very hard, right? I love the Azuki art a lot. I love a lot of the NFT art a lot, right? I mean, huge respect to Steamboy, right? I feel that most of the time, I think a lot of projects, they underestimate the effort needed, right? And for us, we kind of like fall into that. I wouldn't say we underestimate, but we kind of like feel like, okay, we try to push into a angle that most people they don't buy in. Right? I talked to Spencer, right, when I met him a few times in Hong Kong, in Seoul, in Singapore, right, and basically all the things that when Spencer talked to me, hey Ray, I think the smart PFP angle just doesn't work, right? This is your biggest mistake, right? He literally say that to me every time I met him, right? Yeah, and
that's
to
Spencer.
Me, yeah, that's Spencer, right? I mean, you know him, right? I feel like that's one. I mean, if a lot of people say that you're wrong, I'm not saying that they must be correct, but I'm saying that it gives us a good chance to review, right? Whether we are the one who is correct or other people are wrong. And the more that I'm into this market, right, and the more I would say Memeland continue to develop, I feel like there are like different groups of people inside a community. Some people, they really care about the financial return. Some people, they really care about the artwork, right? I feel like one thing that we can make everyone happy is we just invest the resources we need, right, to upgrade the artwork. I wouldn't say upgrade, but more like improve, right? Yeah, and the artwork, because right now, basically, most of the captains, they look the same, right? I think that will make a lot of people who really see NFT as collectible happy. that means that you're giving the users the thing that they want, right? The holders that they think they want. I think that's something that a good product team should do. Yeah. And I feel like for the smart PFP angle, we continue to develop on that end, right? Because we are keep talking to different partners and stuff. And I think that when the NFT market is getting warmer, more and more brands are willing to collaborate, right? And I feel like that's something that we continue to pursue. Yeah.
I think about this angle a lot. I think about the art angle quite a bit, because on one side you can make a case that it doesn't matter, and then on one side you can make a case that it's the only thing that matters, right? And I know Nick's going to have an opinion. I think what you just said, Ray, is very interesting to me. So just so if I'm reading this correctly, is your thought after reflecting on this for months at this point, do you feel like you guys were too early with the smart PFP? And the reason I ask is I've been talking to a lot of people that have been in this game for a while, in the crypto game for a while, and some of them are just consistently too early. We talked to the founder of a potential partner that we're going to be working with, and he said that he tried to put JPEGs on the blockchain in like 2015, just way too early. Tried to start a business on that. Manib, the CEO of Trust Machines, one of our partners, he said that he basically built out BNS, which is like ENS, but on Bitcoin, the naming service, in like 2017. And people were just like, what are you doing? And obviously now that's turned into something big. So in crypto, you can easily be too early with really good ideas that end up catching fire. And listening to you talk about this, if it's peak bull run, if a bunch of video game stuff and a bunch of utility stuff actually makes sense and people can, there's no more right-click save argument because there's a real reason to have an NFT. And then all of a sudden, Captains drops a collab with Supreme, a collab with, Cause, a collab with Bape. I do kind of feel like that would be significant. Nick?
I think the dynamic NFT thing is interesting insofar as much it aligns with branding. The biggest gap that you end up can making, at least is my position on this, you first need to start with a clean brand. We actually have, we're like literally going through and resolving that with our own company, because we have a lot of different brands that exist. We have the Nifty, we have this other NFT, the Nifty portal, we have BoDoggos, we have, there's other stuff that we're working on. And so it's like, how do you actually clean that up? So it's very clear cut. Who are these people? Like, what are they doing? We have the NFT morning show, which is the show that we're on right now. So we have all these different brands that exist. Simplifying is definitely one key thing. And then having a very clear message about what that is the other component of that. The brand itself needs time to like breathe and to exist, basically, to really like saturate the audience, so that people are like, well, yeah. And now in your case, Memeland is the brand, at least as far as I'm aware. I don't know if you plan on adjusting that. And then there's Captains that exist within it. But I think what the narrative around, we're spending time on our own, and we created a whole animation thing that frankly no one gave a shit about. But well, when they were buying the NFT, they cared about it. Afterwards, they're just like, oh, cool. Like, yeah, you sold the NFT. So like, I don't care about the backstory. But
I feel like it depends on how you see NFTs, right? And to be honest, when we talk about this, it feels like, okay, whether MS handbag or Chanel handbag is worth that much money, it's just a bet, right? I mean, it's the same as like a Walmart plastic bag, right? Because it holds stuff. But if you look at the price different, right? If you look at the story, if you look at how crazy people are about the branded bags, right? Then you know that story makes a difference, right? The craftsmanship also make a difference, right? And of course, the higher the price, the more storytelling is needed, right? I feel like it's when we group everything into like one NFT as a category, I think that conversation is already kind of like wrong. Right, but going back to what Pio asked was, I think that when people say that, oh, our idea was too early, right? I think it's a very cocky way to say it. Right, basically your idea sucked at that moment, right? Right. I mean, admit it, right? Don't say that you're too early, right? Too early. It sounds like you're correct, right? But you do it at the wrong time. But basically, you are wrong, because I think most of the thing, it requires the right timing. It's kind of like it's almost like opposite of the cancel culture, right? Okay, like Kevin Hart, right? He makes some bad jokes like 10 years ago. And then right now people take that out and then cancel him, right? I think that's wrong. I think for the same reason, why you launch like some I would say, ideas, right, too early, right? I think that part is also wrong. And for us, I wouldn't say we are too early, but I would say that we launch it as a bad timing with poor execution, right? And I think that's a more factual way to say it without being arrogant. Oh, we were wrong, we were right, but the people couldn't appreciate it, right? I think that's a better way, a more humble way to think about stuff. Yeah, but I feel like but I think one thing that we are pretty good at Memeland is we we always keep learning, right? And we are not the earliest collection in NFT right now, right? We are probably the youngest among the so-called blue chip. We are like a little bit more than 1 year old, right? For captains, it's not even 1 year old, right? But we are the #1 NFT brand in Asia, right? We launched a token. The token have a pretty high FDV, higher than most of the NFT tokens out there, right? It's not because we are smart, right? I always tell our team that, hey, Ray is not like a visionary, right? Ray basically sucks, right? But we keep learning. We're a pretty good student, right? If we say we see something is good, then we can kind of like copy it, right? And then we can micro innovate on it. Then that's how we can get better. And to be honest, that's how most people learn, right? I mean, of course, some people are genius, right? But to be honest, when we know that we are not genius, then we just keep learning. And I think one thing very good about NFT or Web3 in general is most of the cooks, most of the practice is very, very public. Right? If you're willing to learn, you can learn really, really fast. It's kind of like social media. That's why I love NFT. And that's maybe one of the reasons why we kind of like catch up quite quickly, right? Because we have been operating 9GAG for 15 years, right? And that's how we keep improving. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, very humble take, Ray. And what you said reminds me, there's a director, David O. Russell. He directed a bunch of movies, one of them, Silver Linings Playbook. People might have seen that. I saw an interview with him a long time ago where he said, what someone else will call genius is just like your ninth iteration of something. Like you've just been working on it, and they don't see it until you've put all that work in and they're like, oh my God, this is genius. But in reality, it sucked on the first iteration. You just put the work in to get it to the ninth one. You've talked about products last time on the show, and this time you've mentioned it. In the NFT space, it's been challenging to get products to stick. It kind of seems like the platforms, at least, that have product market fit in our space allow people to gamble on price in some way when you think about it. And sometimes those don't even stick. Like FriendTech had its moment in the sun in a huge way. It does feel like the attention on FriendTech is fading. That's a platform where somebody could gamble on price. The biggest company in the United States in crypto, Coinbase, you can buy and sell crypto, and thus you can gamble on price. You look at Blur. I mean, they literally have this lending platform. It's almost engineered for gambling. How are you thinking about the products that you make, and how do you, evaluate whether something's worth building or not, knowing that product market fit can be pretty challenging in this space?
I think the Blur team, I think Patman, right? I think he's like one of the best product guys in Web3, right? I mean, all the products that he launches, right? The team launches, right? It's not he, right? But more like the team launches, right? You can see that they catch the attention of the market. And to be honest, in Web3, if you get the attention of the market, you will have won like 80% of the battle. I think that's number one. Number two is, okay, whether they are good or bad, whether they can find the product market fit, I think it's like almost like always too early to say, right? People say that, okay, FriendTech found the product market fit, right? And then people also say that a lot of products, they also found the product market fit, right? But somehow at the same time, people always complain that, okay, this is like a Ponzi, right? But the thing is, whether it's a Ponzi, whether it's like product market fit, and whether it catches the attention of the market, I think honestly, we have to zoom out and look at a longer timeline, right? Right now, if we talk about, okay, 3 months, they get all the attention, right? It doesn't mean that they have the product market fit. I would say they have the product market fit at that moment, right? I think it is almost always about continuous iteration, right? When you think about product. Yeah, but I think one thing which is very, very important when I look at Blur, which is a good, I would say, learning materials for all the NFT founders, is you're actually trying to solve a very important problem, right? And try to cater your most hardcore customers. For Blur, they always try to make NFT more liquid, right? And that's why they cater that the traders, right? They don't give a fuck about all the normal so-called NFT collectors, right? They cater a lot of the heavy users. And somehow they also get the biggest support from the heavy users as well. I think that's very similar to what Y Combinator, right, taught all the companies is, okay, you have to find a niche, right? You have to make 100 people love you instead of 1,000 people like you. All right, I think Patman, he went through YC. I think we have a very similar kind of like teaching, right, at YC, right? So I feel like that's also one of the reasons why Blur can become one of the top NFT marketplace, right? And Blend also one of the NFT lending protocol. And right now they're launching Blast, right? I feel like I think all of this makes sense to me, right? And they are trying to solve the problem, basically, kind of like solve the same problem towards the same group of customers, right? I think that's at least that's what I see for them. But I feel like another way that we can think about is if we continue to only build product for the hardcore group of people, we will never expand Web3, right? And I think that depends on how your company plan to win, right? If you want to just focus on the most hardcore part of Web3 users, I think Blur is one of the best example, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to expand, maybe you should launch a product, right? That doesn't call yourself NFT. Maybe it will support like a credit card and stuff like that, right? So I feel like there are many, many ways to win. I think most of the time people judge a product too early, right? Just like when we launched MVP like in June last year, they call, this is a cash grab, right? Honestly, look at all these projects launched in since last year. All Memeland NFT probably give you the best return, right? I'm not saying that it will continue to do so, right? But at least this is something that we've proved ourselves. We kind of like prove ourselves, right? And most of the people, they are too early to judge a product whether it works or not. Right? I think good team will continue to learn and continue to iterate and continue to improve their product, right? I think that's why I think that's more important when we look at the product, right? It's not just at that moment. It's more about each, I would say, iteration, whether they can get better and get closer to what they really want to build. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious actually what your thoughts are on that power user market. It's an area which I don't feel has a comp outside of this space. Basically, if you look at the art market, I'm not familiar with traditional art places that are trading back and forth significant volumes of art. I am familiar with the secondary market around sneakers, around collectibles, but even there, it doesn't feel to be a similar like activity level. Well, I'm just curious what your take is on that subset of the market, period. Where do you see that fit in? And maybe I'm completely wrong. Is there a comp out there that you think really represents that sub community?
I feel like the price points, the price level, actually kind of like leads to this kind of like innovation, right? Because when NFT price is so high, but the liquid is the liquid level is so low, right? Yeah. That's why they will have like lending and stuff like the NFT-fi, right? And there are more innovation in NFT-fi because it seems like it makes a lot of sense, right, for people who come from a financial background, right? Because I mean, most of the Web3 people, right, they come from like TradFi background, right? So for them, they see everything as like money, right, or fractionalized money, right? And I think that's why they continue to iterate on that end. And for us, I'm not from TradFi background, right? That's why when I look at product, when I look at blockchain tech, right, I see how it can help improve the community, right? Whether we do something that can actually help the creators. That's I mean, it's almost like when you hold a hammer, right? Everything is a nail. It's kind of like that kind of situation, right? Honestly, I don't know whether there will be a way out. But to be honest, I think some products, they can just have like 1,000 power users, right? They can still make a good living. They can still make a good revenue. And to be honest, I think Blur, at least right now, from what I see, they operate more like a traditional Silicon Valley kind of style. Raise good funding, try to use fast iteration to capture the market share. And then they figure out how to do things later, right? Honestly, I don't know whether that is still the way in Web3, but so far they have been proving that they are doing quite well, right? So I feel like it's too early to say, right? But I just feel like the so-called definition of winning is very different, right? It's almost like when we look at all the Web3 company, we try to group, it's almost like right now we try to group all the internet companies as the same category. It's almost like Salesforce, Microsoft, Spotify, YouTube, Google. You see all of them as just like one kind of like internet company. I think maybe Blur, they just try to do more, right? Starting from NFT, maybe eating into like DeFi, eating into like TradFi. I don't know. Maybe that's their direction, right? And for us, we are more like, I would say, expanding outward. So we start from NFT, and then we launch a token, right? And then we will launch product. We try to reach more people. So I would say that this is like different direction for different products. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about Pac-Man on the show a lot. He definitely fits the archetype of the old Silicon Valley entrepreneur. MIT dropout, went through Y Combinator, technical founder. So we'll have to see what happens there. Clemente, you have a question for Ray, correct?
Yeah, Ray, I wanted to ask you about the Memecoin farming, and if you had any takeaways from it. From my perspective, what I see on my Twitter is whenever you guys have something, you have now an army of people that are willing to help and bring that message to Twitter. You also gained, I think, all Memeland related Twitter accounts gained over 2 million followers each. But one of the things that I see now on every tweet you guys put out is like this army of entitled people basically saying, when the hell are you going to give me money? And we even got like 20 of those comments now on our space. So I'm curious if I know you said that if you can share details on when that drop will be coming from the farming, and B, if you have any takeaways on how that went in terms of how you were expecting it to go.
I think first of all, you have to understand how X, right, or how Twitter, right, works, right? Basically, if you have comment under your tweet, whether your comment makes sense, it's an engagement, right? That's why a lot of so-called influencer, right, they just try to create like dispute, right, and have a hot take and random shit like that, right, just to get more engagement, right? And for us, I would say that when airdrop, right, when harvest, right, when we work for the farmers, right, that's also part of the engagement, right? I would say that this is like I don't want to say it out loud, but it sounds like we see it as part of the plan instead of, okay, this is like complaints from the community. To be honest, right, I think one thing that we're pretty good at Memeland is we always try to reward like loyal holders, right, who really believe in us, right? And if you just try to, okay, join and then create a lot of fake accounts and then try to farm stuff, right? To be honest, I think why would we reward them, right? I think one thing that we saw quite interesting was when we launched a token, right, some so-called some farmers, right, they actually complain, hey, you should reward the farmers first, right, then rewarding the communities. Hey, fuck no, right? I mean, our holders, they spend real money, right, and hold for like a year. Of course, they get the reward first. I think if you were me, you would probably decide that way, right? Because they are our hardcore, they're our core community. Right? Meanwhile, right now for farmers, right, I would say that on one end it's like our extended community for now. Right? We also have a tweet some times ago saying that okay, we actually can turn farming into a service, right? Because honestly, a lot of the Web3 or token projects that we see nowadays is they have a pretty good team, the product or at least the idea of the product kind of makes sense. They have a very solid like a technical background and stuff, right? But honestly, their marketing sucks, right? And they don't get attention of the market. That's why they launch a token, right? And then they just die, right? I feel like we literally say that farming is part of a SocialFi experiment, part of a SocialFi product that we are trying to do is, hey, can we work with all these like good but undervalued projects or under attention the projects, right, to help them to get more attention of the market. Instead of, okay, let's say you reserve like 1% of your token, right, and you pay to influencer, right, and those influencer will dump on all their followers, right? Why don't you just reward the farmers, right? And to be honest, if some of them, let's say 10%, stay and become your believers, become your users, right, it's already a win, right? I think that's something that we want to do because we always believe that that's how we should build a community. I think in Web3, you always have some interest. You always have some, I would say, incentive to do that, right? But right now, you still don't know where to reach those people, right? And for Memeland, we kind of like did a showcase. Hey, we pump our followers, right? All of our accounts to like more than 2 million, right? For me, like a random guy, right? I got 2 million followers. I'm the most fucking popular Web3 founders, right? At least on paper, right? Not on paper, on Twitter, right? Yeah. So I think that's something that I would say it's a success, right? I think right now we are just polishing some detail, right, before we launch the next step for farming. Yeah, and for the farmers, right, who are part of our communities, who really want to do something, right, just rest assured, right, we will reward our I would say hardworking farmers, right. We always mention that we reward our loyalty at Memeland, yeah, and that's something that we can promise, yeah.
They're getting sweaty out there in the fields. And I understand it's got to be quite challenging for them, especially with all of the tweets that they're having to write in response to various posts. It's difficult. Like it's challenging.
But I think that's that. I think they probably had a bot for that, right? Oh, when airdrop, right? I think probably they have that bot, right? And I think that's something that is kind of like interesting for us. It's part of the, I would say, part of the strategy and part of the expected result. Yeah.
So so basically the goal was to create a bot army that was just filling up all
But to
of
be
Twitter.
honest, right? I think it's not just bot army, right? I think there are a lot of real farmers, right? And I think that is the valuable part of this. Yeah, because I mean, we have been on Twitter for a long time, right? So we understand that there are a lot of bots on Twitter. It's not any project's fault, it's not any account's fault, right? But it's more like X or Twitter's fault, right? How they didn't debot and shit like that, right? And I think that's part of the game, right? We are not here to change the game because we are not trying to change Twitter, right? We're not trying to change X, right? But we are trying to leverage the existing tool that we have to achieve the goals that we want. Yeah, and I think that's how we see social media, right? Because ultimately, we want to build something on SocialFi, right? And I think right now is almost a showcase that we understand how social media works. Yeah.
So I got something completely unrelated for you, which is a concept. You may not be familiar with the ecosystem that we've been developing here with BoDoggos, and there's a broader component that we're actively building. What one of our focuses is we've been building out a bunch of products that actually we haven't released yet. That's incoming. But one of the core components is we've been partnering with various brands within this ecosystem. How can we make some merchandise for you all, for a Memeland holders, that we have a whole design team, we can put something together, and then we can drop it on here. A
Memeland BoDoggos tee.
It would be a t-shirt or
no NFTs, just the tee.
Or literally just products. Here's an example of one that we're doing with Shrek. Wait, why did we post that up? Have we even?
I told them to do it. That's fine.
How do we get some partnerships going on here?
Yeah, I think don't talk to me, right? I don't talk about partnership. Yeah, I think about big picture stuff. Yeah, I think about the evil pen. Right? I think partnership sounds too normal for me. Right? I mean, definitely. I think honestly, when you look at the NFT space, Memeland is probably the most collaborative project out there. Right? We literally buy NFT of other products, right? Other projects, right? So I feel like a partnership is always one of the things that we want to do, right? Because we believe that the real so-called quote-unquote enemy, right, is not other projects, right? People say that, oh, it's always PvP, right? But I always believe that it's more about believers of Web3 versus like non-believers of Web3. And I think there's a huge market out there, right? That's why we are always open to collaborate with other products and projects.
That went real fast from a no to definitely is what it sounded like.
No, I didn't say no. I say don't talk to me. Okay. I need to say don't talk to me. Yeah.
Who am I talking to then?
Yeah. Let me connect you with our guy. Yeah, with our partnership guy.
All right, there we go.
Well, that was fun.
It sounds like we have a big team, but actually, this the other guy who did all the things that I don't want to do. Yeah.
That's how you build it, right?
I've never heard more enthusiasm from someone ever to solidify a t-shirt partnership, but I'm very excited about this.
Right. This was fantastic.
I actually think that's so boring to make t-shirt and shit, right? I mean, why can't we make some condom or undies and stuff like that? I think I would wear that more, right? I think BoDoggos, it sounds like a very good brand for undies, yeah. Or maybe even
legitimately thinking about so ironically that actually has been a
it's already come up.
Well, let's talk about
I really want to make a Memeland condom, right? Which is like a small size, but you said that is Magnum or something like that.
I like that. Okay, let's do it.
We hadn't thought about that part of the joke. I didn't think to make the condom extra small, but say that it's big. That's the genius of Ray, ladies and gentlemen. Ray, this was so fantastic, man. Great to have you back on the show. Anything else you want to kind of let the audience know before we wrap?
I feel that I think we're so happy that Memecoin kind of like, I would say, bring the NFT community and the crypto community closer. right? Because right now, a lot of our holders are paying attention to the token market, right? And also more people from the token market is also paying attention to NFT, right? So we are happy that we kind of like bring these two worlds closer together. Because when I first joined NFT, I feel like, okay, shit, I thought that people who buy NFT are actually people also buy tokens, right? But actually, it's not the case. I think right now we're happy that we kind of like get one step forward, right? I think we are so happy and we are so grateful, right? I mean, we are Binance launch project, right? But we are like the biggest like Binance launch project to date, right? We got like $3.7 billion locked, right? My first question is, where does all this liquidity come from, right? If only part of it flow into NFT, then I mean BoDoggos would be like a 10 ETH project, right? Yeah. So I think that's something that we want to, I would say, contribute, right, to the bigger Web3 space, right? And I think it's good to come back here because I mean we run a show called GM Show. I understand how hard it is, right, to be consistent, right? And you guys have been running it for years, literally, right? I think huge respect. You guys are one of my favorite like hosts, right? That's why I come back, right? That's why I also interact with you guys on Twitter, right? Because, yeah, huge respect. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ray.
Appreciate it.
It means a ton.
And shout out to the 2,000 Memeland accounts that just followed us during this show. They're interesting accounts. I'll just say that. Okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, check out Captains, check out 9GAG, check out this whole ecosystem, this world that Ray, the visionary, is building. He said he's not a visionary. I'm calling him a visionary. Anyway, make sure you follow Ray. That's at 9GAG CEO on X platform. Check out the meme token. And Ray, thank you so much for joining us today, man.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Like Ray said, we've been at it for 2 years, not going anywhere. Also available on Apple and Spotify podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, YouTube and X platform for the video feed. One more shout out to our partner, Phantom Wallet. They just dropped their cross-chain swapper. Allows you to bridge and swap tokens between Solana, ETH, and Polygon, all within one wallet. We're going to be giving away 3 more sets of BoDoggos merch packages, which include a Breakpoint hat and shirt. All you have to do is reply with a screenshot of your favorite NFT in your Phantom Wallet. Maybe it's a Captain. Maybe it's a BoDoggo. Whatever you got, post it in response to the tweet. We're picking the winners in the next 24 hours. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be